Hi guys, as you know, I am really passionate about my love of minimalism. I have been following it for almost 3 years now and I've never looked back. When I have challenging days, weeks, months where people try and maybe rattle my cage or I question myself or my inner critic arises within, the one thing that is always there for me and always helps me is coming back to my values and philosophy around minimalism. For me, when I think about what minimalism is about, it helps me work out what really matters and who really matters and why. And from those simple ways of thinking and getting perspective again and recentering and regrounding yourself, that gives me the strength to pull myself together again, get my shoulders back, head up, and stick to my mission and my truth and my passion and my love for what I do in life. And just that nugget of gold that I get from minimalism is so incredibly valuable for me. I'm also incredibly grateful for falling into minimalism. It's been, as I said, 3 years now, and minimalism, I have discovered, is not just like a fad or a phase. It's something that's with you for life. And to really get the most out of minimalism, you want to try and be committed to it as best you can. Don't get me wrong. There are moments where I struggle with minimalism and I slip into a bad habit, but I do try and catch myself as quickly as possible and learn from what has happened and why, so that I can grow from that and become a wiser, stronger, better person, and also a more compassionate person. And that is very, very important when you think about minimalism, because it's also about being incredibly mindful of yourself as well as the people around you. So for this video, I wanted to share with you some tips that I have used in my own life to not just get into minimalism, but stay in minimalism, so that this journey and adventure, which I'm so passionate and grateful for, can continue on, and I can continue to go deeper, I can continue to learn more about myself, and hopefully I'm able to share my discoveries and my findings and my tips and tricks with you guys, so that you can continue incorporating this philosophy or way of life into your own life. So here are 7 tips and tricks as to how to maintain your journey with minimalism. So tip number 1 is to let your family and friends know that you are trying to incorporate a minimalistic philosophy in your life. By communicating that to them, they won't question your new habits or your new way of thinking, and they may be even inspired to pick up this for themselves. Now, this is particularly important when it comes to people giving you gifts. If you are following minimalism, you may come to a point where you simply do not want any more stuff. And if they know that you're following that philosophy, that person may decide that instead of giving you a physical gift, they might want to give you an experience. A classic example is one of my best friends knows how passionate I am about minimalism, and she would normally give me things. But this year around for my birthday, she took me to an amazing restaurant and we had the most beautiful lunch together and had a couple of hours to switch off, no children, and enjoy a bottle of champagne together over a beautiful meal. And to me, that felt so empowering and such a beautiful connection between the two of us, because she got what I was on about, and she actually is leaning into minimalism herself. So make sure you share with people what you're doing and why, so they learn to respect that. Tip number 2 is to become a gatekeeper of your own home. There is no point decluttering, downsizing your home, all this stuff, if you then go and head to the shopping mall or jump online and buy all this new stuff that flows back into the house. You really need to be a goalkeeper or a gatekeeper or a bouncer that stops things flowing back in. Only you decide what is allowed to come into the house and stay into the house. Remember, this is your home. You want to try and maintain this philosophy so you can see if it really works for you. And of course, if it's working, you want to make sure it's as easy as possible to maintain. Tip number 3 is to regularly review and declutter. Now, whilst I try and be the best bouncer of my home as possible and stopping stuff flowing through, I live with a 4-year-old who collects all sorts of weird and wonderful things and makes lots of lovely things that he wants to bring home. And my 2 dogs are always bringing random dirty, slobbery tennis balls from the park. I think I've got about 9 of them in my front yard. Anyway, I try my best to stop things coming in. However, I do need to regularly declutter. So I go through the home, and every now and again I catch a couple of things that shouldn't be there or don't deserve to be in my home, because I simply do not love, value, use and appreciate them anymore. The moment I see it, I make sure I get rid of it by either giving it away, selling it or donating it. This is so important because it means if you maintain this philosophy as much as possible, it's going to be so much easier to continue on your growth with a minimalistic philosophy. Tip number 4 is to use your stuff and, most importantly, enjoy using it. When you have decluttered your wardrobe, enjoy wearing the clothes that exist within it. Make sure you get use out of them. Make sure that you appreciate them and you try and incorporate them into all the different parts of your wardrobe. You want to make sure that you really love and appreciate and show gratitude to what remains in the home, because remember, if you've let it stay there, it's because it means something to you. Tip number 5 is to be really conscious and aware of the impact on social media. Of course, social media is fantastic. There are a lot of positive things to come from that, but you have to be mindful as to what you choose to expose yourself to. If you are constantly exposed to brands and people even trying to tell you or encourage you or sell you an idea or a product or a service that's going to make you think better, feel better, look better, you need to look at it with a grain of salt. Is this something positive in your life? Is this going to help you become a better person, a wiser person, a deeper person? And you need to decide whether you want to continue on exposing yourself to that. Is there a positive feeling and emotion coming out from that? Now, I'm not saying you need to defriend people or unfollow people. What I'm simply saying is you may just want to switch off some notifications. And of course, it's not just people, it's brands as well. Sometimes it can be very toxic and very distracting on your energy sources as well as your financial resources when you follow these particular people. So stop and take the time to think about what you're choosing to expose yourself to. Tip number 6 is to focus on the positive benefits of minimalism. Sometimes I get a little frustrated with my own minimalism and I look and think, God, I've got barely anything here, how depressing. But then I snap myself out of that and go, hang on, look how neat and tidy everything looks. Look how easy it is to clean up. Look how quick and easy, efficient my life is because I can quickly find those things. I'm not running around the house like a headless chicken, looking for lost things all the time. Really try and focus on the benefits and the freedom that minimalism gives you. And then my final tip around maintaining minimalism is inspiration. Follow people that inspire you around minimalism. Find people on Instagram that post quotes about minimalism or share experiences and stories that inspire you to continue on with minimalism. There are some fantastic books out there, and there are also some fantastic movies and documentaries out there around minimalism. And don't be afraid just to look at these books or movies once. Watch them over and read them over and over again, because every time you watch it again or read it again, there's a new powerful message there for you. Now, one of my favorite videos or documentaries, I should say, around minimalism is called All I Need, and it's made by one of the Dado brothers, who I used to have a massive crush on when I was a young teenager, which is really embarrassing to admit. So I'm going to link in the description box that documentary that I recommend, and it is really inspiring and really has made the way that I think about some of the future decisions I want to make in my life. And so I highly recommend it. I've also going to post some books that I recommend and also some blog posts that I love reading on a regular basis that really help me maintain my passion for and gratitude and inspiration for following a minimalistic philosophy. So my advice to you, if you are new to minimalism or you've been in it for a while, continue on going. There is so much to come from this, and I would really love it if after you watch this video, if you could make a comment in the comments box and let me know one of the biggest and best gifts that you have received from following a minimalistic philosophy in your life, because the more I hear back from you guys, the more invigorated and more excited I get about this. So in the meantime, I would like to thank you guys for listening to my minimalism journey, and also thank you for sharing yours with me. I hope that you're having a great week, and I will see you next week for Money Monday. And don't forget, you can also follow me on Instagram at sugarmama.tv, and I promise to be posting more videos around minimalism. Ciao for now.